In the galaxy far, far away, Anakin Skywalker's fall to the dark side is one of the most tragic stories ever told.
You're fulfilling your destiny, Anakin. Become my apprentice. Learn to use the dark side of the Force.
I will do whatever you ask.
Good.
Just help me save Padme's life. I can't live without her.
To cheat death is a power only one has achieved. But if we work together, I know we can discover the secret.
I pledge myself to your teachings.
He joins forces with Palpatine, embraces the dark side, and turns against the Jedi. But what if things had gone differently? What if Anakin had never trusted Palpatine? What if, instead of falling victim to the Sith Lord's manipulation, Anakin had chosen to stay true to the Jedi Code? In this version of the story, that's exactly what happens. And nothing turns out the same. Let's begin. The Clone Wars are at their peak, and Anakin Skywalker is right in the thick of it. He's become a skilled tactician and a fearsome warrior, leading the Republic to victory after victory against the Separatists. But even with all his success, Anakin feels something unsettling growing inside him. He begins to question the very things he's been fighting for: the Jedi Order, the Republic, and the galaxy's system of governance. And lurking in the background, there's one person keeping a close eye on him: Chancellor Palpatine. Palpatine, ever the master manipulator, has been carefully shaping Anakin for years. He knows how to tap into Anakin's fears, hopes, and desires. But in this version of events, Anakin's more cautious. He's noticing the flaws in the Republic, and he's becoming unsure of the Jedi's role in the war. Palpatine offers Anakin power, the promise of saving his wife Padme, and a future they could share together. But as Anakin grows more suspicious of the political system, he begins to question if Palpatine's intentions are as pure as he claims. One key turning point happens when Palpatine makes Anakin an offer he can't refuse: a seat on the Jedi Council. It's a prestigious position, one Anakin has always longed for, but he feels uneasy about the political nature of it. He wants to earn the rank of Jedi Master on his own terms, not through Palpatine's influence. He knows something's off. Palpatine is using him, but he isn't quite sure how. The Jedi Council, while appreciative of his successes, still refuses to grant him the title of Master. This only fuels Anakin's frustration and deepens his growing mistrust. But in this timeline, instead of following Palpatine's suggestion, Anakin speaks up during the council meeting, calling out the political maneuvering that led to his appointment. He doesn't sit idly by and accept the seat that Palpatine has offered him. He questions the council's decisions, and while the Jedi are surprised, they respect his honesty. Obi-Wan Kenobi, ever the mentor, supports Anakin's stance. This is the first sign that Anakin is questioning his allegiance to both the Jedi and the Republic. As the days go on, Anakin's distrust of Palpatine deepens. He sees how the Chancellor manipulates the Senate and the Jedi, pushing his own agenda at the cost of countless lives. The more he learns about Palpatine's influence, the more he begins to see the true nature of the man he once trusted. One of the biggest moments in this alternate timeline comes when Anakin begins to have troubling visions of Padme's death. In the original timeline, Palpatine uses these fears to manipulate Anakin into making desperate decisions, but in this version, Anakin doesn't fall for it. Instead of running to Palpatine for answers, he seeks out the Jedi for guidance. The Jedi are more than willing to help, and they begin investigating Palpatine's strange behavior. Meanwhile, Palpatine continues his charm offensive, trying to win over the Jedi Council with his assurances of unity. But Anakin can see through the facade. He witnesses the way Palpatine plays on the weaknesses of the Jedi, using their own arrogance and short-sightedness against them. The more he sees, the more he knows that Palpatine is no ally. The Chancellor's promises of power and control are starting to look more like empty lies. One day, Anakin receives a message from Fives, a clone trooper who had uncovered a disturbing truth: inhibitor chips implanted in the minds of the clones, designed to control them. This discovery shakes Anakin to his core. If Palpatine had been manipulating the clones all along, how deep did the conspiracy run? Anakin decides to investigate further, and this leads him to the lower levels of Coruscant, where Fives is hiding. The trooper is convinced that Palpatine is the one behind the chips, and Anakin, despite his growing mistrust of the Jedi, believes him. The confrontation with Palpatine is inevitable. Anakin knows that Palpatine is the key to everything: the war, the Republic's downfall, the Jedi's fall. When he finally confronts the Chancellor, it's not with the blind rage we saw in the original timeline. Instead, Anakin is calm, collected, and determined to expose Palpatine for what he truly is. He ignites his lightsaber, but he doesn't attack. Instead, he challenges Palpatine, demanding the truth. Palpatine, always one step ahead, tries to spin the situation to his advantage. He offers Anakin the power to save Padme, to rule the galaxy together, but Anakin this time refuses. He sees through Palpatine's lies and knows that any deal with the Sith will only lead to more suffering. With a defiant strike, Anakin disarms the Chancellor, but he doesn't kill him. Instead, he arrests him, intending to bring him to the Jedi Council for judgment. But things don't go as planned. Palpatine's manipulation has already taken root in the Senate, and when news of his arrest reaches them, the politicians rally behind him. They call for Anakin's arrest, accusing him of treason. The Jedi Council is forced into a difficult position, torn between their duty to the Republic and their growing suspicion of Palpatine's true nature. In the midst of this chaos, Anakin's doubts about the Jedi Order reach their breaking point. He has seen firsthand how the Republic has been corrupted, how the Jedi have allowed themselves to be politicized and manipulated. But he refuses to let the galaxy fall into Palpatine's hands. He joins forces with those within the Senate who want to see the truth come to light, including Padme, who has been working behind the scenes to expose the corruption. Anakin's efforts lead to a shocking revelation. The inhibitor chips were a direct order from Palpatine, and the Sith Lord had been orchestrating the entire war from the shadows. With this evidence, the Jedi Council is forced to take action, stripping Palpatine of his power and exposing the Sith's plot. The galaxy is not yet free of the Empire's influence, but it is a step in the right direction. Anakin's role in all of this is pivotal. He doesn't become the hero who defeats Palpatine in a final battle. Instead, he becomes the catalyst for the truth to be revealed, the one who stands up to both the Sith and the Republic's corruption. And while the galaxy is far from safe, there is hope that, with time, it can heal. As Anakin's confrontation with Palpatine unfolds, the galaxy begins to shift in subtle but significant ways. It's no longer about one man's descent into darkness. It's about the galaxy waking up to the truth. The Jedi Order, the Republic, and even the clones have been pawns in a grand, sinister game orchestrated by Palpatine for years. But with the truth now coming to light, things are about to change. Anakin Skywalker, once a pawn himself, has now become a key figure in the fight for the galaxy's future. His decision to trust in the Jedi and question Palpatine's motives sets in motion a series of events that will forever alter the course of history. However, this journey is far from easy, and the stakes have never been higher. The Jedi Council, still reeling from the shock of Anakin's actions, knows they can't sit idly by. They've seen the corruption in the Republic, and now they know that the Sith, led by Palpatine, have been manipulating everything from behind the scenes. The problem, however, is how they approach this crisis. The Jedi Council is divided. Some, like Mace Windu and Yoda, believe that the Sith must be eradicated and that they must now fully embrace their role as peacekeepers in the galaxy. Others, like Ki-Adi-Mundi and Plo Koon, believe that the Jedi should be cautious in their actions, as the political situation is delicate. Their debate over how to handle the Empire's fall and their role in it grows more intense by the day. Anakin, meanwhile, finds himself caught in the middle. He doesn't trust the Jedi any more than he trusts Palpatine. The Jedi, after all, had failed him in the past, refusing to grant him the rank of Jedi Master, dismissing his concerns about the Republic's corruption, and almost abandoning Ahsoka without even a second thought. But despite everything, Anakin remains loyal to the Order. He knows that if they work together, they can undo the damage Palpatine has done. But unity is hard to come by. The Council's hesitation to take drastic action only strengthens Anakin's resolve. He knows the galaxy is teetering on the edge of disaster, and he's not about to wait for the Jedi to act. he begins to take matters into his own hands, using his influence with the Senate and the military to start rallying those who still believe in the Republic's ideals. His efforts bring him into direct conflict with those who still view him as a traitor, and soon, Anakin is forced to operate outside the law. The Senate is in disarray. Some senators, like Padme Amidala, Bail Organa, and Mon Mothma, have begun to see the truth behind Palpatine's rule. They've known for a while that the Republic has been moving toward authoritarianism, but now the evidence is undeniable. With Palpatine's true nature exposed, these senators begin working with Anakin to form a new, more democratic alliance that could replace the existing regime. But this new alliance isn't easy to build. Many senators are too afraid to act, unsure of what will happen to their political careers if they challenge the Chancellor. Others are too loyal to Palpatine, still believing in his vision for the galaxy. It will take time and more crucial sacrifices to win them over. As Anakin works to gain support in the Senate, he starts reaching out to those within the Republic's military who are loyal to the ideals of the Republic, not Palpatine's empire. The 501st, the clone troopers who fought alongside him in the war, are divided. Some, like Captain Rex, are unsure about the orders they've received, especially with the knowledge of the inhibitor chips coming to light. They want to follow Anakin, but their loyalty to the Republic is strong. It is only when Anakin personally confronts them, showing them the truth about Palpatine's manipulation, that many of the clones begin to question their role in the war. Rex, in particular, becomes one of Anakin's strongest allies. Together, they begin to form an underground network of resistance fighters within the clone ranks. Anakin's growing influence among the clones gives him the leverage he needs to push back against Palpatine's forces. But the question remains, will the Jedi ever fully trust him again? As Anakin's new resistance gathers strength, Palpatine moves swiftly to consolidate his power. The Jedi Council's hesitation only fuels his confidence. He knows that they are divided, and he exploits this weakness. Using the Senate's fear of the growing rebellion, Palpatine begins to tighten his grip, sending his loyalists to infiltrate the ranks of the Republic's military and the Jedi. Anakin, however, is ready. He's already made moves to bolster the resistance, but he knows that time is running out. With the Republic's military stretched thin across the galaxy, the final battle for Coruscant becomes inevitable. Anakin rallies the Jedi who still believe in the Order's original purpose, and together, they prepare to face Palpatine's forces in an all-out war. But the fight is not just on the battlefield. The battle for Coruscant is also a battle of hearts and minds. Anakin knows that to win this war, he must not only defeat Palpatine's armies, but also convince the galaxy that there is hope beyond the darkness. He works tirelessly, gathering allies from every corner of the galaxy, and by the time the final battle begins, he is not just fighting for the Republic. He is fighting for a future where the galaxy can be free from tyranny and manipulation. The battle rages through the streets of Coruscant, with Anakin and his allies making their way to Palpatine's stronghold. The Jedi, the clones, and the senators who have joined the cause fight side by side, pushing Palpatine's forces back. The war isn't over yet. Anakin knows the final battle is coming. Palpatine won't go down easily. Anakin and his allies storm Palpatine's palace, facing fierce resistance from Palpatine's loyalists. When Anakin finally confronts Palpatine, the Chancellor offers him power and control, promising him everything he desires. But Anakin refuses, knowing the cost is too high. The two clash in a brutal duel. Despite Palpatine's tricks, Anakin's resolve is stronger. With a final blow, Anakin ends Palpatine's reign. But as he stands over Palpatine's body, Anakin feels nothing. No victory, no relief. The galaxy may be free from the Sith, but the damage done by the war and his own choices is far from undone. After Palpatine's death, Anakin faces the consequences of his actions. The galaxy is fractured, and the Jedi Order is broken. Anakin realizes the Jedi can't go back to the old ways. They must change to heal the galaxy's wounds. Anakin seeks advice from Padme, Bail Organa, and others who fought against Palpatine's rule. Together they begin to build a new vision for the galaxy, one where the Jedi are peacekeepers, not soldiers. Anakin wants to protect life, not destroy it, and with the support of his allies, he works to rebuild the Jedi legacy. Anakin understands the Jedi must evolve. He starts working with those who share his vision for a new path, one that embraces balance between light and dark. The Jedi can no longer be stuck in the past. It's a difficult journey. Many resist, but Anakin leads by example, Slowly, he begins building a new Jedi Order based on understanding, compassion, and peace. Years later, the galaxy begins to heal. The Jedi, under Anakin's guidance, become true guardians of peace. The Sith are gone, and the galaxy is rebuilding. Anakin's legacy isn't about fear or destruction. It's about hope and balance. He showed the galaxy that even in the darkest times, light can prevail. Though his journey was painful, Anakin Skywalker fulfilled his destiny, not by defeating the Sith, but by restoring balance to the Force. As Anakin stands on the steps of the Senate building, Padme by his side, he feels peace for the first time in years. The galaxy is free, and the Jedi are ready to lead with wisdom and compassion. Yet, even with this newfound purpose, Anakin knows he cannot heal the galaxy alone. He turns to those who still believe in him, who fought beside him not just as soldiers but as friends. The clone troopers, many of whom have begun to question their place in this new galaxy, are crucial to this rebuilding effort. Commander Rex, once loyal to the Republic, now sees the truth of the Jedi's struggle. He stands beside Anakin, willing to lay down his weapon not as a soldier of war, but as a protector of peace. Rebuilding the galaxy after Palpatine's fall is no simple task. The Republic is in ruins, and new factions, some seeking power and others yearning for freedom, are rising. The galaxy is in chaos, and the people are desperate for leadership. The Jedi Order must decide its place in this new era. Anakin, no longer willing to be a weapon of war, understands that the Jedi must return to their true calling, protecting peace and guiding those in need. The struggle is real. Even though Palpatine's Sith Empire is gone, the scars remain. The Jedi face skepticism from the people, who wonder if they can trust the Order again. Anakin's actions, not words, will be his answer. Alongside Padme, Bail Organa, and other senators, Anakin works to rebuild the Republic. The goal is a government based on democratic values, accountability, and transparency. It's a slow and difficult process, but hope flickers with every step forward. Still, the galaxy isn't free from its past. Palpatine's legacy lingers as warlords rise to claim power. Anakin knows that peace is a constant struggle. He must now take up leadership, not as a Jedi Knight, but as a symbol of hope, showing that light can prevail, even in the darkest times. As Anakin continues his efforts, he realizes the Jedi must evolve. The galaxy is changing, and so must they. Anakin works with those who share his vision for a new Jedi path, one that embraces the balance between light and dark, recognizing the complexities of the Force and the importance of personal connections. Not everyone is on board. Many Jedi are hesitant to abandon the old ways, but Anakin is determined to lead the Jedi into a new era, one where they're not soldiers but peacekeepers and protectors. With the support of those who believe in his vision, Anakin begins to build a new legacy for the Jedi. Years later, the galaxy slowly heals. The Jedi, under Anakin's guidance, have become what they were always meant to be, peacekeepers and protectors of life. The Republic, though still in the process of rebuilding, is moving in the right direction. Anakin's legacy is one of hope, redemption, and balance. He has shown the galaxy that even in the darkest times, light can shine through. His journey was filled with uncertainty and pain, but Anakin Skywalker, the Chosen One, fulfilled his destiny, not by destroying the Sith, but by restoring balance to the Force in a way no one expected. As Anakin stands on the steps of the Senate building, Padme by his side, he looks out at the galaxy before him. The road ahead is long, but for the first time in years he feels at peace. The galaxy is free from Palpatine's tyranny, and the Jedi are ready to lead, not through power, but through wisdom, compassion, and understanding. What if Anakin Skywalker never trusted Palpatine? Maybe the galaxy wouldn't be saved with grand battles or dramatic victories. Maybe peace wouldn't come through power or force. Maybe it would come quietly, in doubt, in resistance, in truth. Because trust isn't just a decision, it's the beginning of something harder. And Anakin Skywalker? He wasn't just a Jedi who questioned his destiny. He was the man who chose a different path, one the galaxy would have to follow, whether it was ready or not. If you enjoyed this alternative timeline, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Star Wars stories, and may the Force be with you.